Welcome to the RomaPress podcast with John Solano and Andy Mattioli.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of the RomaPress podcast. We hope you are doing well. Very quickly, thank you to our newest patron over at Patreon, John Velasquez, and of course to all of our other wonderful patrons who make this possible. We greatly appreciate your support. If you would like to become a patron, get early access to episodes, join the WhatsApp group chat, and vent your frustrations when Roma inevitably concede against Empoli at the weekend, you can go to patreon.com/RomaPress. All right. The international break is over. Roma, they are coming back into action. Andy will be doing a live stream later. Anytime there's a match against Empoli, they are slowly, in my mind, beginning to take the place of Chievo Verona in the sense of I expect no entertainment. I expect ugliness galore. I do not expect to be entertained at all. That's just how Empoli are. They do nothing attractive. Haven't ever done anything attractive probably since, Sarri or Giampaolo when he had that, Giampaolo was one season there before he went to Milan, yeah? Because we all know that's where the Vine sensation of
Leandro
Paredes was born, through
That was
Giampaolo
Yep.
at Empoli. So nobody is ever going to mistake Zanetti for Sarri's football. So we can get that out of the way. They still have 750-year-old Francesco Caputo starting
Yes.
at number 9. We also have the Purge watches on with Destro,
Mattia Destro,
who,
yep. Just in time for this game.
who, by the way, another one of those players that never scores ordinary goals. It is either something obscene. Do you remember? It was 1 or 2 years ago. Do you remember he had something with Empoli where it was obscene in nature, and there was actually talk of him returning to the Azzurri. I think it wasn't the last season. I think it was 2 years ago. I mean,
Okay.
some of the things that this guy is able to do,
Yeah.
the goals he scores, never ordinary, just never
Nope.
plain a tap in. It's never just a breakaway, slotting it into the side of the net. It is always something weird. Do you remember that one he had with Roma where it was from the middle of
Yes,
the
of course.
pitch?
Yeah, of course.
You don't know what to get from this guy. I looked when I was searching his
And
photos
he's 32
yesterday.
years old only. Wow, that's remarkable.
Well, in the thumbnail when I was doing it for your live stream, I was I didn't know what to say because he didn't have the beard, and I feel as if it was the first time I've seen his full face. He does suffer from the same syndrome as me, wherein when you remove any sort of facial hair, you go from
Yes.
looking your
Yes.
true age to looking like a chubby 20-year-old. It's something. It's a blessing and a curse, so to speak, I suppose. But anyway, I am resigned to him doing something. I am resigned to him scoring. So I don't know what to expect because the fact of the matter is, and I put this on for one of our patron posts when I was rating. I did a 1 through 20 patron only episode on who had the best transfer market. I ranked 1 through 20 the transfer market ratings in Serie A, and I put Empoli at the bottom simply because I have no understanding as to what the objective is here. If you look at the guys they loaned in, they have my recipe for the smaller clubs is very simple. You get low cost veterans from some of the bigger clubs that have fallen out at the Juves, even the Fiorentina type of clubs.
Yeah.
And you do all you can to get a highly motivated youngster with a lot of quality that you know is not going to get consistent playing time with the club he's at now.
Mm-hmm.
That's my recipe for smaller clubs. Very straightforward.
Yep.
Empoli decided, if you look at the names that they brought in this summer, mind-boggling to me to have a clear sense as to what the true objective is here.
We don't know.
I don't get it, because first off, a lot of the guys they loaned in, okay, you brought them in just on dry loan, no option. So I do agree, if you can get some of these younger guys, you have to bring them in from the bigger clubs. Now, the odds of you being able to keep them are low, but you have to try. You have to try to keep some sort of upside, because that's what I don't understand. When you bring in if you look at the guys they have brought in, this group of, it reminds me of, I had to make a Vicenza reference, but the Serie B
Okay.
Vicenza side, where it is just a bunch of random guys thrown together, and I don't understand.
I don't even why is that comparison so necessary, Sijan?
Well, because in Serie B, what they do is you find guys with high name recognition, because this is what most Serie B sides do, that just survive in Serie B, and they have no ambition to ever get up to Serie A. They are comfortable with being in Serie B. They are fine with the revenues they bring in, and aiming for more would mean more expenditures, and they have no interest in doing so.
Right.
So they get guys with high name recognition. Okay, somebody like I don't know, Insigne's brother. What is his name? Because I feel like he's on a new Serie B side every single time.
Wasn't he Roberto Insigne or something like that?
Yes.
Okay.
I mean, the guy just because he has a surname. Insigne.
Or Cicciretti, who's back at Benevento.
Yes. He. I mean, the penultimate, the pinnacle of Serie B play. I mean, it is him.
Cicciretti. Yep.
A guy who he has one good season in Serie A, and then he gets
with Benevento, and then he signs with Napoli, and then he just completely vanishes off the face of the earth. But you were saying about Empoli that they brought in Bereszinski, who went down to Serie B with Sampdoria. They brought in Ciccio Caputo. Right, they got Mattia Destro for another season.
Man, former Roma man, with
yes, the son of the famous Cancellieri. Yes.
Hold on, we are referring to his. Okay,
it's the same Cancellieri.
To the photo. Yes, no, I know, but most people are not going to understand that reference. There is a top quality photo somewhere on the internet that exists. Of when he is saying goodbye to his compatriots at the Trigoria, and he is accompanied, Andy, by his mother, and
of course he is.
Well, I'll just leave it there. I don't want to disparage anybody, but
no, we've already had enough trouble with Zaniolo's.
Yeah, well, speaking of the power rankings, when it comes to the power rankings of some of the. I don't want to get too crude. My wife doesn't listen to this, but of the older women category of the moms of some of these younger players. Okay, she surpasses Frack 77.
77. Oh, okay.
I think she is in the lead.
Okay.
So if you can find that. If you can find that photo,
oh my God,
Cancellieri's mom, you will understand. But what I am saying. Anyway, let's see some of the other guys they brought in. The son of Maldini,
yes,
Simone Bastoni, a guy I like, by the way, but again, loan. Kovalenko from Atalanta, who, as you remember, Kovalenko was linked to Roma for months and months. Obviously, did not come. No surprise, Alberto Grassi, another penultimate Serie B guy, who, anytime I see Parma, I mean, this is just mind-blowing to me. Giuseppe Pezzella, fantastic. How is he only 25 years old somehow?
I don't know.
So, I mean, this is what they are working with. I again, especially because I thought they did really underwhelming work in selling, because I thought, what did Spurs pay for Vicario? Let me see if I can find it.
20 million.
20. Okay. To me, that is particularly for a club from the Premier League to only get 20 million for that guy seems like
that's nothing.
criminal.
Yeah, that's nothing. Yeah.
I liked Fabiano Parisi too. I thought the fact that he goes to Fiorentina only for
10 million. Yeah.
Again, criminal. And to do that when you are able to sell, even if those values are underwhelming in my opinion, to have your incoming campaign be as it was, just these sets of random guys that you are not going to get much upside on.
No,
I don't understand. I do not understand. And by the way, you were still doing this with Caputo as your
main
preferred
striker.
number 9.
Yes.
John,
you're setting this up perfectly for just
the purge. Here it comes.
I mean, it's the way that you've been ranting for 10 minutes about how shit Empoli are is just the perfect start, the perfect preliminary for a surprising 4-1 victory in their favor at Stadio Olimpico.
Have they scored a single goal yet this season? Because I know
they have 0 points. Let's see. No goal. And they faced Verona and Monza in their first 2 matches, and then Juventus on the third one. So, and the 0 goals scored.
Fantastic. So all of the elements are clearly in place, particularly after what we just discussed. So everything is, if I could steal a line from Tancredi Palmieri, everything seemed to be set to erect the arch of the purge, because that's what's going to happen. I mean, I don't know what to think or what to expect, because the thing is that Roma have not been good in these opening matches. Let's just be clear, okay? The defense, Rui Patricio, it's not good. It's not good. 2 points, it's not good. However, the positive thing you can take from this, in my opinion, is I think a lot of the goals they have conceded are correctable. For instance, I'm sure if you were to get Rui Patricio some truth serum into him, he would probably admit to, that those goals I conceded in the opening against in the opening fixture against Salernitana. Maybe I should have saved one. If you get to him, ask him about Verona, he would probably say, I should have done better. Now, against Milan, we can debate that. What should have been done? I think if we were to look at the mistakes from Milan, I assume people are going to take more problem with, Chris Smalling, probably. I think that is something you mentioned too in our reaction.
Yeah.
Guys who you would expect to be much, much better and perform at a significantly higher level than they have so far to date have been very underwhelming. Given that, I think this should be very straightforward. The fact we even have to do an episode on this is, I mean, obviously we're going to preview a match, but this should not require much time for discussion. This is straightforward. You're playing a very, very bad team with bad players, and they have done nothing to date.
Yeah.
I mean, if there was ever a time to want to, improve your self-esteem, playing this team would be it.
Yeah.
I mean, you're playing the team at the bottom of the table. Now, you are second from bottom of the table, so that doesn't it doesn't mean much, but I mean, this Empoli team is so bad. Let's just go, I know I am getting the stove warm up for everything to be thrown back into our faces. But if you can't do this, if you can't do something against a team at the bottom of the table, a team that does not score goals, a team that does not have a good roster, a team that, frankly, I don't like Zanetti as a manager. If you can't do it against them, then we might as well not even just cancel the rest of the episodes for the season, because what are we even doing here then? Why? This should not be a debate. And I don't care if We are missing some guys. I don't care who is, who isn't available. I don't even care if you are having to rely on guys that are not in top condition. This should be so straightforward that we're not. We should be discussing movies for the next 20 minutes.
Yeah. That would
come
be
on.
ideal. That would be ideal.
I mean, I don't care. Obviously, it's after an international break, so you're going to get guys in very particular conditions. You're going to get guys that are still trying to find form, trying to find their best physical condition. Lukaku probably being the one, the most obvious name to all of us here. But it doesn't matter. I mean, this Empoli team is crap. Roma, if there was ever a time to just batter another team,
wow,
raise your self-esteem, it would be this one. It would be this game. Every single team that is looking to get back on form, you pick the worst team in the league and you do it against them. So
yeah.
It's that straightforward.
There should be no argument. There should be, it's as you say, it's you are facing a terrible team at a very good time. You're coming off 3 disappointing results. You are, as you say, second to the last in the table. You have failed to maintain some sort of defensive consistency and solidity, and the whole structure of the team has been in shambles for the first 3 games. So if there is a match, it's kind of like when we were having those. Remember in Spalletti's second season, so in 2016-17, when we would go and have either a heavy loss or a disappointing loss or a game that was so and so, Spalletti's team would find the groove again in those games against Pescara, which I argue that I think that year's Pescara is probably the worst Serie A team that we've ever seen. By the amount of goals that they conceded and the number of points that they scored. It was Pescara, Crotone, those teams that you could count on just completely steamrolling them. And that would really boost your confidence. I mean, Edin Dzeko that season scores so many goals because he can stat pad in those situations.
Yeah, that's where he made his bones that season.
Yeah. And, not to take anything away from it, but those games can work in your favor. It's just a matter of taking advantage of them. I don't know are Roma in a position where they can comfortably walk into the match on Sunday and be like, okay, we're going to kill them 5-0. No. This team, I mean, they have struggled to score. So we know that. I don't know how long it's been since we've... is it the Feyenoord game that we saw Roma score more than 3 goals? I think
I was literally trying to find when was the last time Roma scored even 3 or 4. Yeah. The only one that came immediately to my mind was Empoli. Wasn't it the last season where they scored 4 against them?
Not true. Yeah.
And by the way, you were speaking of Dzeko, and curiosity killed the cat, and I had to see how he was doing in Turkey. 3 goal, 1 assist in 3 appearances so far.
Well, that's
fantastic.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
I love that.
Well, I mean,
37. Oh my gosh, 37 years old. Oh my.
Yeah.
Time is a son of a bitch.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, 37.
And Raja Nainggolan is 35. So, no, but the thing about it is Roma should be walking into this game super confident because they're gonna have Lukaku. Lukaku played, I think in total he played about 120 minutes for Belgium in this international break. So you're getting a guy who. Finally, the international break serves some purpose, in order to get some minutes into his legs. He started the 2 games with Belgium. He scored. He collected an assist. So he gets to start with Dybala, hopefully, in what is supposed to be the marquee partnership for Roma this season. Like, this is the stuff that dreams are made of, like that Carly Simon song says. And we are... we are we are in the position where this game should be exactly so easy, so approachable. I think everybody's going to have their hopes up that we're going to see, a spectacle. We're going to see the Ocean's 11 of at the Stadio Olimpico. And I'm just bracing myself for, a timid yet comfortable win. I don't want to be the guy that goes out of his way and say, yeah, well, Lukaku is gonna, score 3 goals, and Dybala is gonna score 2, and then you're gonna have El Shaarawy off the bench, and he'll just sink them. No, because we know that this team deals with so many mental demons that even a match against this Empoli side isn't gonna be easy. It should be, because this Empoli should have no chances at the Stadio Olimpico. Unfortunately, Roma seem to be in the mood for allowing these smaller sides to have to see the time of day. But again, it's just, this shouldn't even be a debate. Roma are most likely going to have Houssem Ouar back. There may have Lorenzo Pellegrini, who's still doubtful, so we'll see. Maybe Evan Dika will make a start, but all the ingredients are there, despite the injury of Renato Sanchez, despite maybe Paulo Dybala still not being 100%. This is the match that you use to boost your confidence. If you don't do it now, when are you going to do it? If we go postponing this supposed return to form, which I don't know what we mean by that, because this Roma team has never been known for just going up against teams and absolutely murdering them from the start. They always
right.
So they always make life difficult. So I don't know. I would love to be here and sound confident and be like, yes, we're gonna, it's gonna be easy. It's like that scene in The Loop, the movie In the Loop, where they say, no, it's difficult, lemon difficult. Exactly. This is precisely what Rome is all about. Nothing is easy peasy lemon squeezy. It's difficult, lemon difficult.
Wow, that
I'm just trying to cover all bases. I'm just trying to cover all bases. See the Carly Simon reference, the In the Loop reference. I'm just, I'm rolling.
The only reason I even know of that movie is because Gandolfini.
Gandolfini, of course, plays the general who calls Malcolm Tucker a shriveled dick. Yeah, that's
anyone who is able to get that. Anybody who has seen that movie, I have to give them credit, because that might have been your most obscure reference
so far.
To date.
Yeah, well, I'm
trying to think back, but in all seriousness, though, I do agree with you, wherein you have certain pieces that are waiting to be in their peak performance, but the fact of the matter is, no team is in peak performance, peak condition at this time anyway. So why would it be fair for us to wait on Roma to hit their stride, so to speak? You mentioned some of the guys that are coming back, some of the guys that might be available. I don't even know if this is about individuals, so to speak. This entire thing, it seems like they suffer as a collective, and I know that is an obvious way to put it, but it seems like Hellas Verona, for instance. I don't think there was anybody who really wowed in the match. I mean, Ouar, okay, he did okay, he got the goal.
Ouar was the only positive performance.
It seems like
maybe
they all
Belotti.
collective. Yeah, it's not as if the way Roma performed, where Rui Patricio, he lets in a couple of goals, and he was the only sore spot of the match. It just seems like all of them, they rise and they fall together, in the sense of, you can't even get one of them to perform when everybody is, when they're in that mood. You can tell. We've said this before 1 million times. You can tell very quickly what kind of Roma you are going to get in the game. It is so, and it is from the Roma of Jose Mourinho to the Roma of Spalletti, to the multiple Romas of Spalletti, to Eusebio Di Francesco, to Luis Enrique. you can tell within the first few minutes what the level is at. I will never forget Luis Enrique, Roma in Tuscany against Fiorentina, when Bojan does the most obscene handed ball I
John,
probably ever witnessed.
You're gonna have to let it go. It's been 11 years already. What are you talking about?
Beyond Luis Suarez in the World Cup, which was the most. I mean, that was art. That handed ball. That was art, and that was also trolling, by the way, because he essentially saved the match for Uruguay. But what Bojan did, first off, the guy is under 1 meter tall. He's a quarter meter tall. And you see him with his sleeves rolled up, and he rolls his sleeves up to his hand, and he just jumps with both of his arms up like he's trying to defend the net in volleyball.
But you keep mentioning this game because you attended it in person. Or is there any other reason why this event is so traumatizing?
Just watching this.
I just want to make sure. Why am I hearing about this magical?
Watching this little the guy in a professional Serie A top 5 match just ship in the match, put it into the bin with the most obscene handed ball I have ever seen. I do not understand it. So I don't know. I don't know what
team we're gonna get.
What team we are going to get, because you can always tell. Again, just it is something. I don't know if it is in the water, in the environment. I don't know.
Don't say it in the water, because now with the Paul Pogba news, we're gonna get in trouble.
Oh, I was waiting for that to happen.
We're not
that's something. I was trying to find a way to include Bergamo.
There you go. That's the segue.
But, I mean, it is. You have to admit, it is kind of funny that the guy has done. How many matches has he played since he came to Juve?
No. I mean, I think
under 10.
Maybe, definitely. Yeah, no, definitely under 10. Yeah.
I mean, now
official games. I would say probably something like 5 or 6. Yeah.
Now we're having to do the gear. We're having to turn to the gear, and it's done nothing positive for him. Now he's broken down. He is.
Yeah.
He has turned into, my Uncle Valentino's Fiat that, a 2001 that he's still driving in 2022. At some point the wheels are just going to fall off. I mean, it is absolutely hilarious that happened. But that aside, it's just weird to me that with Roma, generally, you get a very early sense very quickly as to what you are in for that match. So I don't know. Now, if we really want to add some more spicy ingredients to the purge, Roma have done, if I am correct, of course I didn't look this up, but
of course this is the preparation, RomaPress preparation.
Well, hold on. Has Jose Mourinho lost? I think has he defeated Empoli every single time?
Oh God, no! I don't want to check those stats because.
Hold on, let me check, because I think there may be one draw in there, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh yeah, the 2-2. I think it was 2-2. No, yeah.
Yeah. So hold on, what do we have here? So we have. Oh, of course, it's not going to have it. All right, hold on. So we have 2-0 to Roma, 2-1 to Roma, 4-2 to Roma. We have a 2-0 to Roma, 2-1, 2-0. 2-0. So it has been Roma have not lost to Empoli.
Okay, so there is a first time for everything.
Yes, and I am looking back. So they have not. I believe. Oh gosh, now I'm going to 2000 and.
It's with Fonseca. The 2-2. There had to be a 2-2. Come on, wasn't there a 2-2? 2-2 draw.
Was it? Hold on. 2-0 to Roma in April.
You mean the Stadio Olimpico or what?
2-1. 2-1 against Empoli. 4-2. 2-0.
Patient with our research process.
2-0. 2-0. 0-0. 2016.
And that is why you should subscribe to the Patreon, because in the Patreon episodes we do our research properly.
Yeah. Oh my gosh! Wow. Okay. So Well, I'm looking at the lineup of this 2016 Empoli. This is artwork. This is
Yeah.
absolute artwork. So no, so I was correct. Roma under Jose Mourinho, they have defeated Empoli each time. So now, if you didn't want to believe in the purge before, now it is.
That was the time.
Yeah, now the Borghino is coming without question. So I mean, I'm trying to extend this to at least half an hour as a way to come up with some good point, but I can't find one.
There is
I mean, this should be
a point.
straightforward. End of
There,
discussion.
Yeah, there is no good point. I mean, if we don't know what Roma we're gonna get, I'm pretty sure that Mourinho still doesn't know. He should know by now, but I can imagine that with the international players returning yesterday and today, today is gonna be their first training session all together. So there's so much uncertainty, around the status of Renato Sanchez, Gianluca Mancini, Lorenzo Pellegrini. The important thing is to at least have you know to at least have utilized this international break to get some perspective on on plan B, plan C, plan D, on some alternatives that will be able to boost this Roma, because it's impossible to go on with the same, at least even in terms of the energy levels, just based on the energy levels that this team showed. It's impossible. You can't, even against an Empoli side that sucks, you're not gonna get anywhere if you basically walk on the pitch. If the defenders are losing their opponents, if the goalkeeper is just walking out and leaving the goal wide open, if there is no communication between the midfielders, then you're gonna lose. Just like you would lose against Latina or Frosinone or Vicenza even. At the end of the day, these are professionals. So, and Roma have to understand that they can't. This is a team, once again, that cannot afford to not play with energy. We know, as you say, we know when Roma are ready and when they're not. When they're not, it's because you can see that they're sleepwalking. Roma in their best games, even last season, you knew right from the get-go that they were on because the energy levels were on, because it was a team that acknowledged the fact that, hey, we may not be the best at what we do, we may not have the greatest roster, we may not be good at scoring goals, but we're gonna work our asses off. And that was not apparent in those first three matches. So in my mind, the international break is always a difficult time because, yes, in theory, you should be able to recover. You have some time for the players that are injured to train on their own and then be reintegrated with the rest of the team, like Paulo Dybala. So he's supposedly ready. We'll see. But at the same time, you lose so many other guys that you can't really work on a system. You can't really reintegrate Evan Dika, who's trying to learn ways of playing with the other guys. You can't integrate Rasmus Christensen because they're all out on international duty. So you have 3 days remaining for Empoli. You have to get it right. This is the moment. There is no, for me, people say, well, we excuse Roma too many times, and obviously, if you don't come out with a win, with a statement in your own home against this Empoli side, then I'm not somebody who panics. I always like to try and see how the season goes. But hey, if you can't beat this Empoli side at home comfortably in a manner that says, look, we got it wrong on the first three games, we're gonna get it right now, then I'm gonna worry a bit, because then I have to really question whether there is desire, whether there is drive, whether the coaching staff is working on anything in training.
Mm.
So I hope I don't. I hope I will not have to raise those questions on the next episode.
Well, right, and ultimately to end this, that is my fear, because if you even a draw, Andy, what that means, and we said this before the international break. What are we going to hear now? We're going to hear it's an
Mourinho
emergency
out,
season
yeah, Mourinho
over,
out,
doesn't Mourinho out,
yeah,
so on and
Friedkin
so
out,
forth.
yeah.
What you will hear that now if this
Yeah,
goes
yeah.
wrong at the weekend.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
we are talking about emergency situations simply from the standpoint of the environment.
Not only that,
It's
it will
always
be this.
loud.
Not only that, it will be also this Roma team can't win. It will be the same thing as this Italy team, this national team that is, you can see psychologically they look like a team that missed twice on the World Cup and is now terrified of missing out on the Euros. So with Roma, you can see how this could spiral out of control very easily. 4 games and no wins. Imagine that to this team. The that awareness of, oh my god, like, we can't even win against Empoli at home. That could be devastating. So it has to be avoided at all costs.
100%. There's no other way to put it. I mean, as I always say on here, I whatever needs to be done to avoid those situations where it is complete chaos, because the sort of avalanche effect, I can't think of a better word, wherein what happens from here if we get into the emergency situation? Well, now we have Jose Mourinho in every single press conference having to be asked all of these questions about his future, what's not working. He gets very moody, very angry, and it completely goes off of the tracks, and it is done, and we are not even entered the winter yet. It is the knock-on effect, and I cannot reiterate enough, just when it gets into that point, and we all know what it feels like, and there's not even really a criteria for what it requires for that to happen, because you can just feel it. You feel it. You don't even need to know, when it is there and when it is about to happen, you know it. You know it. There's no other way to describe it. I know this is very a poor description of it, but if you have watched Roma long enough, you know what I am saying here. You understand that what happens when the environment just goes full force, when things are not going well, and that needs to be avoided, because whether we want to admit it or not, whether it is Jose Mourinho or it is Eusebio Di Francesco, very few have not fallen victim to the ambiente Roma.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter how much you've won in the past, how little you have won.
I mean, at least for now, the Mourinho is still, strong amongst Roma fans. Like earlier today, some supporters displayed the banners outside of Trigoria, saying, "We're here, we're with you, we're not going anywhere." And so that, I think that's also, that's very new for, anybody that is not.
Is true, because we
Mourinho
always
has
say
credit. Mourinho has credit. Mourinho has credit that nobody like Di Francesco or Fonseca. They could, if they opened the season with 1 point in 3 games, their head would have been decapitated by now. No joke. Like, it's very simple, and it's not a bad thing. It's good. It's good that Mourinho has this opportunity, but that's why you have to get it right at this time around. You have to give back what you're getting. You're getting a remarkable support. You're going to be once again in a sold out stadium, or almost. So you're going to be facing an easy team to beat on paper, in theory. You're looking at a schedule after the international break that is very accessible. So
very, very.
That's the situation.
Well, and you just said it, and that was what I wanted to end with. I'm the old man who says the same thing over and over, but the points you drop early are the ones you are always going to regret the most. But now you have, with this calendar, Andy, coming up, if there was ever a chance, okay, to right the wrongs that you made through the first 3 rounds, it is now. It is now. You have to do this now, because the run of matches you have coming up, you have Empoli, Torino, Genoa, Frosinone, Cagliari.
Yep. That's perfect.
You have to do it.
You have to do it. Yes, just for the sake of not hearing you say those words of what is it again? Because
the points in the spring, you regret most. The points you dropped in the fall or in the second half of the season, the points you regret the most are the ones you dropped early. And I I always heard that, and I never believed it. But then in 2013, 2014, I fully believed it, because we
Yeah.
all remember Roma started out winning 10, and then they had like all of these draws in a row. And at the end of the season in April, those are the ones you regretted most of all. And I do believe that. Now, you're going to look back at the season and say, wow, first 3 rounds, we didn't have a single win. But now, if you can do it to where in rounds 4, 5, 6, 7, 8,
Yeah.
9, whatever, if you can get wins in all of those, you at least make up in part for everything you screwed up early on. So now you have to do it. You have no choice, because, Andy, if they don't go on a run now, they screw themselves. They screw
Yeah.
themselves.
Yeah. Yeah, this is the moment. This is the do or die. It's in all seriousness, it psychologically it can either be, and that's why it's so terrible that we have to say it so early on in the season, or maybe it's a blessing, but you have to get it right, because psychologically it can either be a lifesaver, or it can be just a bomb, a dressing
Right.
room bomb, a bomb on the pitch. I mean, it just can devastate you on so many levels, just as it can do wonders for you in the long run.
I can't believe we did an episode 40 minutes worth of subject involving Empoli. This is
Yes.
a miracle in and of itself.
Yep.
All right, you will be doing a live stream later on our YouTube,
Yes.
youtube.com/RomaPress. Please go there, subscribe. We will be back Sunday or Monday after the weekend. Again, straightforward. We should be discussing a victory, and that's it. That's what we all expect. So until next time, ciao.
Ciao.